my second paper, I go over how all countries want to be the most efficient, but like Adam Smith pointed out, sometimes it's a lot more efficient and you can get more produced if you just have one person know a certain step or part of a process as opposed to having one person create an entire final product. However, Marx argued that doing this kind of mundane work doesn't really bring about a sense of purpose or fulfillment in someone's life. Marx believed that work should be something that brings a sense of self-fulfillment in someone's life, and it shouldn't be just a meaningless task that someone completes over and over again for low pay. These days, it seems like technology is replacing many jobs at alarming rates, and many jobs have been lost due to this recent trend. Also, another trend that has contributed to job loss is offshoring and outsourcing. And while that is very attractive to CEOs and bosses of major corporations, it does create a few different problems. The obvious being is that there are less jobs available for local residents in the area. And also, the money that is being spent on these products could actually be contributing to child labor because, for instance, cell phone batteries are often mined in more poor countries like Africa or other countries in the East who often use child labor to get these products. And these poor kids are suffering so much, so we could be unknowingly contributing to this terrible cause. There's definitely a lack of transparency oftentimes when it comes to exactly where a product has been made and where it has come from and that sort of thing. Another concern is poor working conditions. In the US, these have kind of faded out due to increased lawsuits and liability and everything. However, in more poor countries, there are more workers who are just desperate for any sort of money, so they accept jobs often that have terrible working conditions. For example, I talked about in the reading how a mother who works along the Mexican-US border is working at this awful factory with these terrible conditions, and she barely makes any money. It doesn't give her any sort of fulfillment in her life, but she just has to do it to hopefully help her family scrape by and do what they can. Sometimes tariffs are established on countries, and they can help smaller countries sometimes become more readily recognizable to the rest of the world. But sometimes the bigger countries like to take advantage of the smaller ones and impose overly harsh tariffs. So the World Trade Organization helps to regulate the tariffs and is always keeping an eye on all of the international trade going on all around the world to hopefully make it as fair as possible for every country involved.